Hey, game makers, welcome. How's it going out there tonight? All right, let's just do a sound check, make sure all this works. Check, check, check. All right. All right, you guys hear me out there? Hey, everyone in chat, how's it going? Turn this down. Get a little settled in here. It's a beautiful Sunday night. The Patriots won. So I'm in a good mood. I'm in a very good mood tonight. And I'm ready to get rocking and rolling on this thing. Alright. I'm getting okay symbols. I think we're good with the music. Alright. We're good with the sound levels. Alright. Let me know if the chat or the my face gets annoying to you. We can move it away as needed. I'm using a new setup tonight, so if there's any glitches, I blame the new setup. Alright. With that said, let's dive right in. So I think we should spend a little bit of time focusing on, you know, what the goal of tonight is. So as the name in the live stream suggests, we are going to be doing Facebook and Google authentication with the MV Online system. Now, I did a little bit of prototyping last night just to make sure that this would work and I wouldn't be fiddling around with a ton of nitty-gritty details with just the pure implementation of it. So I got like a really rapid prototype going and have a bare bones working solution that we're now going to actually integrate into MV Online. So I'm going to spend the first few minutes talking about, you know, some of the problems that we have to solve, the prototype that I already have up and running, you know, where we're going to put everything, because there's a few things to take into consideration. But with that, let's get started. Let's get in there. Let's dive on in. All right, so first things first. I am using something, we currently use something called Passport. And specifically for the local account currently, we use something called Passport Local Mongoose. Really, really effective. It's a really older plugin for a local, it's called a authentication strategy. Passport is kind of like, it's almost like a framework for logging into, it's a framework for logging into your application and then utilizing different things within the framework for the user, not only authentication, but session data, you know, just really cool ways of doing it. Anyway, so Passport Local Mongoose is what we currently use. And what we're trying to implement is this Facebook strategy and this Google strategy. Okay, so utilizing Google and Facebook. So really quick, without getting too much into it, I am using a couple of plugins. Let me just open up my package.json so I can show you what we got here. The two things I'm using is Passport Google OAuth 2.0 and Passport Local Mongoose. Not Local Mongoose, Passport Facebook. I'm sorry. So really quick, let's just look at Passport Facebook just to give you an idea of how this works. Okay. Passport Facebook. You know, this is telling you to create an application, configure strategy. All right, and here's what's going on. And we're going to go over how exactly this works with authenticating and kind of the bare bones thing that I got going on and that it's working. But all right. So yeah. So let's just dive into the code. So in our login routes, just so we understand what I have going on here, let's do Facebook strategy first. Okay, so right here I have my client ID and client secrets. So these client IDs and client secrets are done through the developer program for both Facebook and Google. So I had to Google it a little bit, but you can find these client ID and client secrets pretty quickly. You have to create an application, which then ties your account to these client IDs and client secrets so they can track what you're using it for. Okay, if that makes sense. So you're gonna have to go on to, developer Facebook, create a developer account. I think I already had one, or I don't know if you can just use a regular Facebook account to get it. I know I had one from forever ago for some weird reason, so don't quote me on exactly how to get it. I'm pretty sure it's just free. You just sign up for it, you create an application, and then you say, I want to, it just gives you the client ID and client secret pretty much. This callback URL will come in handy in a little bit. It's this, notice the login/Facebook/return. Important. We're not going to touch Google strategy because it's Facebook and Google are very similar with how Passport handles it all. So I just want you to understand the concepts more than the actual implementation, if that makes sense. Okay. So router, express router. This is kind of our routing. So here we go with this. So we have this login Facebook. And then we're doing this Passport Rainbow. Actually, Rainbow, Google is free if you only turn on the API for just the login. If you turn on the API for everything, it is $25 a month. So I will show you how to do that later. That's going to be an aside. That's going to have to be a separate video just because I don't know what I can show on stream without giving away all my personal information. So I can't show it tonight, but I can assure you it is free. Just for the login credentials. Okay? So, because I know what you're talking about. Up at the top, it tells you, oh, you can get all the APIs turned on for $25 a month or whatever the hell it is. And no, you can get just this turned on without everything else included. So, with that said, login Facebook. And then login Facebook return. So, we are going to do, so the /login/Facebook, let's just go to it so I can kind of show you what's going on. So we're going to this login Facebook. We're trying to authenticate with Facebook, which is going to redirect us to the Facebook page. And then once we actually authenticate, it's going to run this return. And if I did this correctly, No. I know you guys can't see this, but I am doing this off screen just in case something gets funky with this. Okay. So. All right. So if I come here and I go to localhost 8000/login/Facebook, it brings me up to my login Facebook page. I am not gonna put on Facebook. Let's do Google because I can sign into my. Yeah, I can sign into my Nelderson account real quick. So login /Google. Okay, and I can sign into my Nelderson gaming account. Perfect. So if we look up here. Prepare a bad request. Whoa. Okay. Return bad request. What did I do? What did I do here? I don't know what I did there. No, this is working right here. Okay, so this. All right, and I'm pretty much passing it this user request user JSON. It's just returning the user object. So as you can see, I have the user object. It gives me my email address, my first and last name, etc., etc. So with this, now we have a whole host of questions, more than answers. So here's the issue now. So we can log in with Google and Facebook. So let's actually write down some of the issues or the questions that we need to answer. Okay, so so questions. Okay. First question. How do we log in inside of RPG Maker? I have an idea of how to do this, but I want to verify that tonight. So we're gonna put a little bit of time into this. How do we log inside of RPG Maker? So essentially, what we're gonna do, we're gonna open a window and navigate to that login slash Facebook or Google. Let's just do Google tonight. Login slash Google route. Okay. How do we then close that login window? Also a fun and interesting question. I believe we can tie a window to a variable, and then once the return actually comes back, we can listen for a positive response, or we can make like a custom response with like a success equals true or something like that, and then we can use that to close the window. Something along those lines. I'm thinking something around there. Number 3. How do we make the buttons look pretty? By this I mean Google specific, Facebook specific. Okay. What are some of the other questions? This one's a big one. So tying accounts to already made accounts with the local strategy. This one is a huge, like, I have no idea what I'm getting myself into with this one. This could be a pain in the butt. I'm not gonna lie. Because, what happens if we're gonna have to mess with the database schema. We're gonna have to mess with how it all kind of ties together. Like, if you already signed up with a Gmail account and then we notice that your Gmail account is coming in when you Google authenticate, like, how do you handle that? Or does it just, create a new user every time? But then the problem becomes you have to have a separate email right now with the schema that we have. So there's some decisions that we're going to have to make. There's some compromises we're going to have to make. So this should be a fun and interesting question to answer. Don't know if we're going to get to it tonight, but it's a fun and interesting question to answer. Sorry, just checking chat for a minute, making sure I'm not ignoring you guys out there. Even though I am. I totally am. Okay, let's see. Tying accounts already made to accounts with the local strategy. I think that's going to be... we're not going to be able to do password resets. Yeah, we're going to have to disable password resets. On Facebook, Google accounts. We can also ignore the action code. So we can ignore action code. These would not be questions. These are requirements. Okay. Ignore action code on Google, Facebook, only accounts. I'm just putting a bunch of stuff down just so we don't forget kind of, you know, what we're doing, why we're doing it. Where am I here? Ignore action code on Google, Facebook only accounts. What else? What else do we need to take into consideration? I'm sure there's a lot more considerations that we're going to have to figure out once we actually get into it. But I think this is enough for us to get started. I just wanted to show kind of how Passport handles this, where you first go to this login Facebook. When it authenticates, it calls this callback URL right up here, this login Facebook return, and then this login Facebook return runs right down here and passes this user request user JSON. Now, where that actually happens, where it puts that request user onto it, is in this serialize user method. So serialize user, deserialize user, pretty much log in, log out is kind of the simple way to think about it. So if I come in here and I say user and I print that out real quick, I should be able to go back, log back in, and we can see us as a user. Yep, user ID, all that good stuff. So that's what's going on with that. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else necessary. Yeah, so with the serialized user, that's where I'm thinking we could do things like do the JavaScript web token and maybe even clean up this old method, because this old method doesn't even use the serialized method right now. Or does it? Good question. I don't even know. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some testing tonight. How would it be implement other social media services for login, such as Discord or Twitter, assuming that it has a Passport API? That's a great question. Pretty similarly, actually. So let's say, let me look real quick. Why not? We got a couple seconds. So if I went Passport Discord, I don't know if it's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing. And it should be pretty simple. So, or similar, I should say. So Passport Discord, yeah, it's pretty much the exact same. If you look, client back URL, scopes, yeah, right here, Passport authenticate Discord, pretty much the exact same thing that we just did. Pretty much the exact same thing. Yeah, and then there's some OAuth 2 refresh things that we got to take into account, but that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, so Discord is pretty straightforward and simple. And then what was it? Twitter. I'm pretty sure there's a Passport Twitter as well. So this is why Passport is really nice, because you can kind of put everything into one big thing. Twitter authentication strategy, and it is pretty much exactly the same as everything else. So, you know, so the good thing about this is that if we have it all in one place, we can make configs for everything, and then it's just literally put in your developer credentials for each of these API strategies, and you could have like an array of 10 buttons if you want, you know, Discord, Twitter, Facebook, Google, you know, XYZ, ABC. I don't even know what there is for Passport, but apparently there's a lot of them, so that's cool. It's cool. I didn't even know that they had Discord. I knew they had Twitter. I didn't know they had Discord, but pretty cool. The more you know. All right, so with that said, so now that I know that, I say let's just focus on Google first, and then we can decide maybe Facebook as well. And then if people want to add on, you know, the Gambit, they can add on the Gambit. But I just want to get the base ideas across. So let's see, we got all right, so we got this, we got that. I love when I say we got this and we got that and you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Oh man. All right. Let's say goodbye to you. Let's try. Okay. So if I'm a user and I'm trying to get on, I need something in the login screen. Okay, so let's go to the login core. Make sure it's in the right place. Now this thing needs a rewrite eventually, but for right now we're gonna have to plug everything in. I wonder. So what I'm thinking is we should add a button and start routing the, start hooking this thing up and seeing if it just works. Let me just check something real quick because I thought I saw something, but permissions, re-asking for decline permissions. No. I'm wondering if they have. All right, so we're just gonna do Google. So let's say Google login button. Sign in with Google, sign in with Google. Download files. Is it just an image? I'm surprised they don't have a it's just a bunch of assets. Oh, vector files. Yeah. All right. Just you're seeing what I'm seeing. Come over here. Bring this over here. So let's see what we got here. All right, so let's do this. We don't want iOS. Oh, these are all iOS. All right, let's do let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Whoa. All right. So I'm going to take this PNG and let's figure out where we're going to stick it. So let me start up RPG Maker real quick, because of course I didn't start it again for this stream. I'm just that good. Just reading your chat, guys. What server provider VPS would be ideal for the NV Online system? Assuming that I have funds for it. Once we get this all up and running, really up and running, it depends on your market. If you want to go global, there is probably none better than Amazon. If you're going to do a US deploy, I would consider Heroku just for ease of use, because it's as simple as just push, and it's pushed. It's similar to just git push. AWS is nice. You can easily replicate things. You can put it in different zones pretty easily. I don't know what other VPSs are out there that would really... Google Cloud Platform, obviously. Trying to think what else would work. Yeah, I mean, any VPS would do for short scale, but then for larger scale, it's a bigger question. And it depends on where your market is. Okay, with that. Launch. All right. Project 6. Now let's make sure our online core is on. Online login core is on. All right, so where are we going to stick this thing? Let's, whoa, this got messed up here. Why did this get messed up? Crap. That's not good. All right. I'm not going to focus too much on where it goes, because obviously I've already messed something up on mine where it looks weird. I'm just going to get the button in and I'm going to route it up. We can focus on how it looks later. I'm not going to concern myself too much with this. That's registration form. And by the way, we should also consider, if we go to register should only be for local, but login should work. Hold on, let me think about this, because this is the issue. If you log in with Google, it's not going to know if you already have an account or not unless we use that serialized user for an account. I think from a UI perspective, it makes a lot more sense if we just have like a Google Facebook button here, and it just this is perplexing. All right, let's get the button in here. And then we'll worry about this kind of stuff. All right, how do I want to do this? How do I want to insert an image? Let's put the image. We could put it in the image folder. That won't kill us. Yeah, because I should be able to do that, right? Or I'm debating putting it in the CSS. Let's let's put it. Let's see if we can just throw it in the image folder. I'll try it. I don't even know if you can. Game open folder. All right, so let's copy you. Let's open a new Finder window. But I don't know where you are, so I'm going to open instead this window. Open folder. Project 6. All right, so let's image. Let's throw it in system. Let me think about this. No. This is bad. I don't want to hear. No, Alright, you wanna we'll keep it here, but let's put it in the CSS folder. So let's make a CSS class. Where are we here? It's images. We want to be in what am I doing here? CSS. MMO. And let's do, let's make Google button. What is it? The background image. That's URL. Oh, forgive me, it's been a little bit. Where are we here? Compared to the CSS folder. So we want to go from the CSS folder to the image folder. We can use a relative path. Forgive me. No, image. I just gotta remember where I put it. Image, I put it in system. Image system, and then that. Image system. This dot png. All right, so this, we can now make a quick div inside of, not the registration form, but the login form. And we want to put it, let's just say we want to put it right after the register button. So we should be able to make that, I'm just gonna make it a div, because I'm pretty sure that'll work. Google button. Oh well. I'm so used to autocomplete, as you can tell right here. And let's do another div. And that's not going to work because I need to put this here instead of there. And add a plus, which by the way, we should really clean this up. Instead of having all these, we should maybe start using the ticks. But I'm not positive on if RPG, the engine can handle ES6. String concatenation like that. Find out another day. I'm not rewriting this right now. Once again, I'm very big proponent of fast prototyping, get it working, and then we can focus on making it look pretty as opposed to functionality. All right, so we created that, we did that. Let's put that off to the side. Let's try to start this thing up. Refresh. And you can't see it, but I have this off to the side. All right, hold on a second. The Google button is there, but it is a width of 512 and a height of 0, so that could be why. Really quick, before we do anything, let's just make this a button. I don't want to keep it a div if it doesn't make sense. The button might make actually a little bit more sense. And let's try. I don't know if that's gonna work. We'll go back to a div in a second if it makes a little bit more sense. So we got this down here, but this is teeny tiny. Wow. That's not gonna work. Let's put it back to a div. And let's change let's change the height to what, 46 pixels? No. 46 pixels. I'm just blind. Button go, but I don't have it as Google button. What? Div. Oh. That feel. Oh, that feel. When you change the wrong div. Oh, God. All right, so. Connect, whoa. Excuse me. Oh, goodness gracious. Why are you not working? Button. Okay. Hey, that definitely worked. So it definitely is a height issue. It just did not like the way that I put that CSS in. Am I just losing my mind? It's probably just that. Go away. All right. Beautiful. Okay, so now we just need to do like a background image, no repeat or something like that. And just kill this for a second. I'm just gonna fiddle this with 5 seconds here. Because I know it's something like something simple like no repeat or something like that. We just gotta figure out the exact. Ah. Ah. Oh. All right. Good old Google machine. What is this? Background repeat? Seriously? Okay. Yeah. Background repeat, no repeat. There we go. There we go. All right, so let me just copy this into our CSS so that way we're not fiddling with this anymore because CSS can be evil. Oh, you can't copy from that. I forgot. Repeat and no repeat. Just verify that this works really quick before we move on. There we go. Cool. All right, so now we need to just tie an event listener to this. To tie an event listener to this, and whenever we click the button, we need to go to that login/Google page. Yeah. That sounds about right. All right, so key press, tap, bind, click touch start. All right, so here's how we're going to do this. We are going to do something similar to this. I'm just going to copy this. And we are going to do that. Click touch start, and we are going to, instead of create registration form, we're going to do login with Google. And display, we're going to put this, that's connect attempt, register attempt, create background, draw, put this up near login, wherever we can find it. Connect attempt, maybe? prototype. Dot login with Google. Function. Just put that there just in case. So we want to log into Google. So we don't want to post. We want to, all right, so now we want to tie the window. This is where I'm pretty sure we can open a window and tie it to a variable. Let's try that. Open and I'm pretty sure we can take, wait a minute, where are we posting this here? Like, you see how we're, hold on, I'm trying to get our game network server URL. That's what we need. We want to take game network server URL plus, I think this is all we need, login / Google. Don't quote me on that. I'm just gonna double check my, screw it, let's try it. You are not working. Unable to open. All right, so I'm getting an error message. Once again, I can't drag it down because it's on the attached to the primary screen. Unable to open a window with invalid URL because it does not see this at the end. So if we do this, now we do that. Well, it opened this window over here. Now, the interesting is, it's window.open, but I could have sworn window.open opened it within your game. Really quick, if we don't tie it, what happens? No, it creates a new window, which honestly isn't the worst effect. It's actually kind of nice. Yeah, I think this will work. All right, so this opens a new window. And then what do we want to happen? When we sign in and this succeeds, we want to be able to close the window. All right, so we're gonna have to tie this window to like maybe a class variable. Yeah, I think that's how we're gonna do this. So let's say, then we come up here. Oh. Now we would need some sort of listener event. No, I don't like this. I'm trying to think of how we're going to, oh, no. When you sign in, it redirects you to the other window, so you should be able to get this back. Here, let me just sign in real quick. So if I do this, yeah, let me just log this out as well. Log out this Google login window. I'm breaking things and I don't even know how. That's how good I am. Oh, goodness gracious. There we go. Now the sign-in's working. Apparently something was going on with my database. That's what this has to do with. All right, I'm gonna sign in off screen. Actually, I'll do it here. That's not a problem. Noticing gaming. Redirecting. Awesome. Now, if we could send a close signal for this to close this window, we should be good. So hold on. If I do that, redo this, because this should now work. Huzzah. And just so you see what I see. And apparently what's nice about this is it kind of keeps you signed in. Actually, I'm wondering if I close out of this, if it actually kind of keeps your session like not session variable, but yeah, no, wow. So it kind of keeps the state going, which is kind of nice. Yeah. So if we can take this and push back to, if we can somehow tell this to close after it's done, we should be good. There's got to be a way to do this. I'm just trying to think. Can you guys hear me? Test, test, test. All right, hold on a second, guys. See what's going on. Maybe, kind of, sort of. All right. Hold on, everyone. Hold on. No. All right. All right. Whew, I think we're up and running with the stream now. Whew, goodness gracious. Okay, that was fun. My chat is broken, huh? My chat looks like it is broken. Hold on a second. Let me fix my chat real quick, guys. Fix that really quick. All right. Breaking shit and having fun. Oh, goodness. Oh, those darn internet connections and weak streams. Bullshit. All right, guys. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like my chat is completely broken. Inside of... Yeah, I don't want to kill the stream just because my chat is broken. Which does suck, but... Alright, I'm just gonna turn off chat on the actual stream. We'll just do it through YouTube, guys. Yeah, let me just refresh this, make sure it's working properly. What time we got? 9 o'clock. Alright, buffering. Alright. Alright, it seems to be going through now. I can actually see it. You guys can actually see it. Ugh. Better now? No. Good times. Good times. Unfortunately, I cannot fix anything. Yeah. Alright. I'm going to continue on because I know things are running relatively well on my end. So I'm not going to mess with things too much more. Let's continue on. Alright, so open login Google. Alright. Whew. And let me just test everything. Ooh. All right. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Some serious disruptions on my end. I am so sorry about this. I got a wired connection thinking that would help, and no, it didn't. I have actually good internet service. It's I don't know. I think it's my MacBook that I'm running off of. It's dropping the connection randomly on the Thunderbolt port for some weird reason. I don't know why. Should be fun to fix. But meanwhile, all right, I can see things coming through. I can see things here. Let's just make sure that I can see myself on the actual stream, and then we'll continue on, because it's a bad if we don't. All right. All right. Well, it looks like it's coming through. Looks like we're good. Let me know if you can't hear me at any point or something goes wrong, because now I'm on Wi-Fi. It's the only way I can stream right now, so let me know if something goes wrong. This should be fun. Okay, so let's go back to this. So we have our win. I am going to kill it and probably do a recording of this later on to try and get some semblance of something out of this. I am so sorry for the inconvenience and the technical issues. Apparently that plagues only my channel. So once again, let me just make sure I can actually see myself. Okay. All right, let's dig in here. I'm just gonna keep an eye on my kilobits per second to make sure I'm not dropping completely. If I drop another time, we're just gonna call it. So just keep that in mind. Meanwhile, let's try to get here. Let me quit this. Maybe that's part of the issue. All right, so failure redirect. I'm wondering if we can hotwire a way to close the window. This is kind of a weird one. I don't think I've ever done something like this before, where we want to actually close the window. Excuse me a second, guys. Is that my wifey wife? No. Okay. Just making sure it's not my wife. All right. So just so everyone's aware with all the technical interruptions and everything else, what we're doing here is we're doing this login/Google. It's authenticating. And then what we're trying to, then it runs this callback of Google return. And what we want to do is we don't want to send it this object per se. We want to redirect the user to, not redirect the user, because in a normal workflow, what you would do is you would open the window that you're on. You would open the window that you're on to the Google page, and then you would redirect them to your application, wherever your application is. For us, we're opening a completely new window, and then we want to close the window after this callback is returned. The problem is, how do we tell RPG Maker in some way, shape, or form that, like, hey, this is successful, get rid of it? It's kind of how I'm thinking of doing this. Maybe we could... This is an interesting problem. One that I have not thought about. Kind of an issue. Okay, refresh token. Which allows for account link and authentication with user identity providers. That's not the issue here. We could do it at the serialized user. There's something we could do with the serialized user to... Yeah, the problem is, how do we tell the front end to close a window? How do we... The better question is, how do we listen for it on the front end? Good question. Let's do a couple little tests first. Okay, so let's see if we can close this window. So we're gonna tell it to open and then close real quick. Dot close. I think that should work. Yeah, no, it closed. It actually opened and closed. You can't see it because it goes on to the upper, but it's like flashing and then disappearing. Okay, so that part of it's correct. So that part of the assumption is correct. So now this Google login window, this object is attached to it. So when we get redirected to the return, the status is sent to us. Can you put a listener event on what URL? I have no idea. The hell is this? That's add event listener. Hash change. What the hell is hash change? On after, print on before, unload. On language change, on message. Hop state, rejection handle, on storage. Here we go, here we go. Events. DOM content loaded. Oh, window event handlers. Okay. Hash change. What the hell? Let's try it. I've never even heard of this before. Okay, so let's try this. So let's just say, so it's this. Let's say this to this, and it's a function. Reference. I'm pretty sure we can do it like this. If not, we can do this add event listener. And let's just literally log, yeah, let's see if it has any arguments. We'll just console log. This is happening. And then we'll see if it has any sort of event tied to it. I will take out that log. Can you guys still hear me out there? Making sure. All right. I'm just making sure you guys can hear me. Okay, cool. Cool. So hopefully the internet connection stays good. All right, so this is happening. This is happening. Let's run this. Sign in with Google. All right, you guys can't see my console, but that's okay. I will tell you if it worked. It did not work. Let's just make sure I saved everything. Window has changed. Okay. All right, that did not work. So instead of hash change, yeah, let's do this. Do something like, let's just do a console log and just see if that works. There we go. That's a hash change. Sign in, do that. And it didn't work. Shit. All right. Yeah, it's not working. Document URL. Hold on. Location href changes. Op state. Seems weird. Just huh. Just see if it even is there. Um. Hmm. Huh. Let's try this. Oh, 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 Let's do this. Let's do this. Push URL. They're being pushed. No, that's changing the href inside of there. Never mind. This is not what we want. Hmm. All right, let's try this. On before unload. It's a weird. It's a weird one. Let's not return anything. Let's just log this out. Unload. Let's do the event. Okay. Let's try this again. Oh. Okay. Change before unload event. Yeah, it ran before. Yeah, that's weird. Let's get rid of that. So just so everyone's aware of what's going on, when I click the sign in with Google, the before unload event does show up, but when I actually sign into the account, it doesn't run again. So this would not work for us for our purposes. Huh. Alright, we'll try this one more time. Because maybe I just got unlucky with this. I typed it in wrong. Alright. Let's just do a console log instead of alert. Damn it. Not working. Hold on. Window listener JSON specific. I'm trying to think of. This is DOM event listener. We don't want to do it like that. We want window listeners. Not DOM, not DOM, not DOM. Well, no, it would be DOM. Element, where's window? DOM window. Closed console default document. History. Local storage location. Let's return an anchor part. An interesting one. Document. An event listener. Yeah, see. That's on the individual specific things within the window. We want to be able to tell, you know, when we open a new window, right? When we open a new window with this, we want to know when we sign in, instead of giving us this, we want to be able to close it in some way, shape, or form. I mean, what we could do is we could say something like, you know, logged in or something like that. And then here, yeah, but then we have to be able to tell this that it's logged in. I don't think we should get too fancy with this. And here's my reasoning for this. That we shouldn't get too fancy. Especially when you're talking other browsers. If you open a new window, sometimes it does not do, it's not cross-origin, what is it called? Especially with things like iOS. The app and the web service don't play nice together sometimes. So I'm trying to think if there's a better way. Instead of window.open. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm going to close this. And I want to check RPG Maker for something. Window.open. RPG scenes. Command, no, that's command window. Status window, gold window. No, that's gonna give up way too many things. It's Huh. Let me let's think about this. This is a tough one, actually. I didn't think it was gonna be this tough. I think I might take this off stream because this might be a blocker. I don't want to spend too much time longer, you know, fiddling with Google searches for how to Yeah, I'm not thinking of an easy way to tie these two together. We're gonna have to actually, we could do it that way too. So when we open it, we're gonna have to yeah, we're gonna have to tie something together with the back end so that it can tell the front end exactly what's going on, and then the front end can view what's coming back and close the window. So this just became a little bit more complicated, but once we figure it out for one, we should be able to figure it out for the rest of them, because they should all be using the same relative concept. But I am going to table this right now. So right now, the biggest issue, where's our notes? So, log in Google root. This one's a blocker. Blocker. Let's put this in red. Okay. This one we've kind of figured out. Ooh, that is way too green. Do like a nice green there. Okay. We figured this out. Let's make this nice and green. Tying accounts already made specific with local strategy. I was hoping to get to this tonight, but we need to tell how to close that window, because that's a pretty big blocker. So we're technically signed in. Ooh. I think I know how we can do this. I'm thinking about this. Okay, wait. If we sign in with Google, okay, follow me on this. Okay, and I'm signed in, and this authenticates. I can then send in this serialized user, wherever it is, in this serialized user method, we're getting the user object back, so I can tell that you're logged in. So if I can tell RPG Maker that you are signed in, it could automatically bypass the screen and put you directly in. No, but that's not good enough. We're gonna have to... Oh, cool. No, this just became a lot more complicated. Okay. All right. I'm gonna give up on this one tonight just because that is a huge blocker. But I'm hoping to fix that. I'm gonna put a little bit of time into extra and fix this. I think what we should do for the remainder of the stream is kind of go over some of the other stuff that some of our feature request lists. We'll go a little bit past the GitHub issues. I get a bunch of feature requests in my... Holy crapazoid. Oh, that is a lot of requests. We'll go through them really quick, Rainbow Kappa. I will blow through them really quick. Here's my general rule of thumb with feature requests. If it's anything really specific to one game, I'm not going to do it. If it's something that could help the community as a general rule, I'll probably put it... I'll put a lot of things on the list, but the things that'll actually get done, like soon, are things that would benefit the entire community, in a nutshell. So let me just... All right. Ah, so disturbing. I really am disappointed. I wanted to get this done. I'm disappointed, but it's okay. It's okay. This happens. This is perfectly normal in the development world. Sometimes you get sidetracked, and I would rather not spend the entirety of the stream on Google. So I figure let's take some time to talk and figure this out. All right, so I will put this off to the side. Let me yeah. This blocker is something I will fix. Let me also share this. Sharing. And get shareable link, and anyone can comment on this. If somebody knows the answer or somebody can figure something out, I am all ears. I am ready and willing to listen. Let me just throw this in the chat. Okay. All right, let's go over RPG Maker MV Online. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to mention really quick is that I am doing this on a private branch right now, but I'm going to be making a public 1.00 release branch. And then from that, I'm also going to create a sub branch that will have this authentication method in it. So if you want to take it and run with it, you absolutely can. One of the main things to keep in mind is that these client ID and client secrets right now, I'm putting in process environment. If you are not familiar with that, it's you go into your bash profile to At least on a Mac, you go into your bash profile to set environmental variables. Windows, I am not entirely sure where you set process environmental variables. So I don't know. You're gonna have to look at the node documentation to figure that out. I'm sure there's plenty of documentation on this. But just something to keep in mind if you go with the newer branches that I'm working on. I have a lot of this stuff in there, mostly because I'm streaming and I don't want you to see all my clients and passwords. All right, with that said, let's get in here. I have a pull request on here. I didn't even know I had a pull request. Oh my goodness. Shadow from 2017. Oh goodness. Oh goodness, hold on. I just gotta see what's in here. Core's documentation. Oh, you made a core thing? Yeah. Where was this last week when I was looking for it? All right, I gotta go through this because that is not how you spell controls. So I need to go over this with a little bit of a fine tooth comb because I know you don't speak English as your first language, Shadow. So, yeah, I'll go through this. What else did you change? And then the server you changed. What did you change it to? Router, bind socket. That's actually not bad. I like what you did there. Okay. All right, I'll go over this. It's a nice little change to the README file, but it might be out of date for now. Yeah, I'll go over that. Issues. Anything else? Player stats. Squareware. All right. Hi, Anderson. Saw your YouTube stream yesterday. Nice one. I have an idea for players to see each other's status, like level, HP, etc. when you click on them, like inside a small pop-up box, maybe even a private chat window. My idea is to put the stats of the player in a variable, send that to the database. This is needs. I'm guessing you were going with needed. This needs. So the database holds the save file information apart from the player stats, maybe items. I'm not sure, however, how the player data is requested by clicking the player through the same event, the one that shows the player on the map. So the server should look up the player ID from the database or who the data is requested and be shown. So there are a ton of things wrong with this idea of thinking. Right now, is this all possible? Absolutely. Okay, so let's look at net player. Okay, in here, when you are a game player and you move by input, okay, you are sending your player ID, which is your socket ID, to everyone else. You're also sending your direction, your name, your XY, your move speed, your move frequency, your character name and character index, which is your sprite sheet, and your followers, which I don't believe I implemented yet. But if you wanted to send your HP and your MP or whatever else you wanted to send that you can send as a player, anything, you can send it. And then on the other end, you can receive it. So receiving it would be up here, the socket on network player XY. So this is receiving the XY from everyone else. So this is, receiving the data X, the data Y, the data move speed, the data move frequency. So you could easily make HP, MP, anything that you want. Now, a matter of showing it is a whole separate issue. You would have to probably put this in some sort of global variable-ish type of thing. So you'd have to tie it to like game system, or something along those lines, and then create like an object of everyone's HP, and then when you click on it, you can base it off player ID. The point that I'm trying to make is this is doable. So this network map is similar to how I did network map events. So it's network map events. If you look, I did it right up here. So I made it I don't want to say a class variable. I made it a this is all inside of an anonymously called function. So I don't know how to put this. So all the functions can use this object. So I made my plugin so that I'm trying not to get too deep into scope and how this works all at the same time. pretty much this network map events, I made a giant object and then keyed off based off the player ID, which is their socket ID, which is a guaranteed unique identifier. Okay, so the reason why I use socket.io ID is because we're connecting through socket.io, and the socket.io ID is not tied to their database ID. It's not tied to really anything. When they connect a new time, they get a new socket.io ID. But the cool thing is you can target by socket.io with the socket.io system. So if you wanted to send a direct message to a player, you would probably need this player ID or the socket ID in order to send a direct message to them, which we can talk about another day, which is actually kind of a nice cool feature if we ever want to implement that, like a DM type of system. So the point that I'm trying to make is that you can key off of network map events and make a huge object of, you know, based off player ID, you know, their HP, their MP, everything else, which is pretty much what I'm doing here. So I'm setting, you know, all their stuff here. Their move frequency, their speed, because the entire map is going to go through that. And actually what we're doing here, the network map events is then used, remove player, deletes them, but pretty much we are adding them somewhere here. Call menu just gets rid of this. Load network map data. Game network player, and we are game player maps events network player ID. Oh, we are create network player character sprites. So this is kind of another thing that I'm doing here. Where am I here? I've lost myself. Let's remove player. Network player XY. But there's a place where I actually am creating the player. Somewhere. Where the hell am I creating them? Add network player. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where I use that or why I have this network map events. That's network map. Oh, yeah. So here I am here. Yeah. So I'm making a new map, game map, add network player. I'm making them on square 1-1, but they get added to square 1-1, and then they, because they're moving on the map, they automatically get shifted to where they are. It's just how I wrote the code, so it's not a big deal. Network player equals net event, and then I'm keying off this network player. So I'm making a giant object of whenever you're adding someone, whenever someone joins the map, they're added to this network map events object, and then I'm keying off it. So you're essentially, all you have to do, all right, long story short, move by input. So if we came over here and we said, player HP equals this dot HP. I'm not sure what it is. Hold on. RPG objects. Game player. Game player. I know there's a way to find their HP from here somewhere. Oh, no. Because it's game player. So I'm positive they are a prototype of game character, and game character has HP, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere. No. They don't have game. Character base, maybe? Just might not have it. Because the character might just be the on-screen. This X, this Y. Stop count. Huh. Interesting. I am sure. But you do have. Yeah, there's things like this where you can get the actor based off the game party leader and then do it like that. So you could do game party.leader, which is the actor. So leader, this battle member is 0. And then from there you can get the HP. So it would be something like this. It would be, once again, long-winded answer to your question. It wouldn't be game party, it would be this, .leader, .hp. Something along these lines. Okay? And then you can use this player HP, which I'm going to get rid of right now. And you could take it here, and it would literally come over as, whoa. It would literally come across as player HP. And then you can name this whatever you would like. Player HP. Right, and then you can just add it down to this main network event, and the player HP is now tied to the network player that is coming over. Okay, so long-winded answer once again, but it is very doable and very easy to do. Let me just quit this real quick. So you can just add to the layer socket plugin to add more info and pass it to other clients. As for the GUI, it might be able to help out. Unfortunately, I won't be doing it. Maybe I should say what are we in? We're about 2 hours in. Yeah, we could do something like that. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay. So I'm not going to actually implement that, but I did kind of go over how to do it. Once again, very specific. You know, people are going to want different things transferred between each other, and I think it's better to show how to do it more than just doing it in this particular situation. Once again, I would have to test it. I would have to make sure it works. I'd have to test all scenarios. Do that another time. Okay. Can you still hear me out there, Rainbow? Just making sure. I'm getting things. All right. Rainbow, you officially have my attention for the next few minutes. So, all right, for those of you who cannot see this, Rainbow Kappa has given me a ridiculous list on Discord. In fact, I am going to once again put on to the chat my Discord link in case anyone wants to see this, and it's under hashtag feature requests. So Rainbow Kappa has a lot of feature requests. I am going to try to bang this out in the next 5-10 minutes because it really should not be that difficult, because a lot of these I'm either going to say no or probably push off on. All right, profile pictures that differ from your sprite actual player skin. So dealing with profile pictures, that seems like very specific application logic. Don't get me wrong, it'd be a great UI benefit, but where would you put it? How would you put it there? It's not something that you can do across everybody's system where it works. I'd punt on that for now. Twitter, Discord, GameJolt, and other Steam auth options and or integration. Yeah, no, I 100% agree with different auth options once we kind of get the basic flow and get the blockers out of the way. Actually, I wonder if they have Passport for Steam. It's just a good question. Well, look at that. Let's just look at this real quick. Shit. It's kind of cool. All right, so yeah, you can use pretty much everything with Passport. So I think I'm going to invest a little bit of time. That way, anyone can just pick up what they want, throw it in. We'll try to make it as clean and as simple as possible, and then people can just add what they want. It's really not a big deal. It looks like it's as simple as like the rest of them. Yeah, this is really nice. All right. Excuse me. Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. Oh man, that's so cool. I didn't know Passport had all of these different things. All right, so Discord GameJolt. I didn't know GameJolt was a thing, but let's just see if it has it. Why not? We're here. I don't think it has it. Yeah, I don't think GameJolt has it. I think we found the end. I wonder if, yeah, well, doesn't look like GameJolt, but there's plenty of other things. Friend system using one or more above services, syncing friends who use and play both services. This is going to depend on individual integrations and whether you can get friends from their individual OAuth. I think it's something they have to give you access to, and I don't think it's something that, I think you can invite friends kind of thing on Facebook, whereas opposed to maybe like Steam, you can actually integrate with friends. I don't know. That's something we're gonna have to look into. That's a great question. Cloud-based achievement system using GameJolt, Steam, or standalone custom service. Achievements are it's pretty generic, but at the same time, it's something that I would say is application specific, because you have to have a GUI achievement system of some sort. Right now, I think built-in achievements within the game are perfectly fine, and if you want to make it server-based, that's not a huge deal. I don't see a real need for that right now. Set player count max. Once filled to be a queuing map, yeah, and transferred game map once room is made. No, this is important. So because RPG Maker is so small, we're gonna have to do some sort of a player count max of some sort, which I have an idea how to do at a later time. Cloud-based server events that happen every X minutes or hours from a Coliseum match could also be used for holiday events such as every X day, months, year. Yeah, I've talked about global events. I have talked about global events. Yeah, let me see if I can, here, just so we're all on the same page on what I'm seeing. All right, there we go. Now you can see what I'm seeing. So we are here. Okay. Cloud-based server events that happen every X minutes or hours. We went over this last week or 2 weeks ago with global events. This is definitely possible. It's on the list. Cloud-based server-based calendar system, alternate way for cloud-based server events, so you can just have it on month 12, day 25 for Christmas, for example. Once again, however you want to set up your thing, we can figure this out. I think that's just a small feature to think about. WebRTC audio chat, voice chat, local and server-side VC ranges. Speak to the entire server or only local nearby players. So once again, I do have it. It is not ready for consumption. It is evil, and I have not. Yeah, there's a lot going on with WebRTC. I might just release the code out there and say, have at it, have fun, and I'm not responsible for anything. I haven't decided yet. But it is really rough, and I do not understand everything that's going on. I kind of took an example, made it my own, and hooked it up to RPG Maker just to see how it would work, and it works relatively well. But in a production level environment, with multiple servers and everything else, I have no idea how it's going to hold up. Because once again, WebRTC is a peer-to-peer connection, so you're technically connecting to somebody else's browser, but at the same time, you need like a signaling server to tell you where to go. So once again, I don't know how it scales. I don't know how it really truly works internally. So yeah, local would be good for Coliseum matches, speculating and or commentary. Yeah, okay. Renaming username ability for Steam, Google, Facebook, Discord if auth through multiple services. Yeah, so this is the thing. This is where I was talking about where we're gonna have to talk about flow. We're gonna have to talk about login flow. So if you have never signed in before and you do a Google account, right? You're gonna have to have a screen where it says, what do you want your username to be? So we're gonna have to create like a little bit of a flow. What's your username? Is that username taken? If it's not taken, then actually create the user. Because also we need to create the user object with the Google ID and the Google token and the refresh token and all these things. Are they authenticated? There's a lot to this that we haven't even touched. But the big blocker right now is trying to communicate with the front and the back end that the window is open and they were successful logging in. So now it needs to tell our application, yes, I was successful. Now you need to do something with it. So that's on me. I will figure that out. I'm probably overthinking this. So it's a good question. So yeah, renaming username ability. So it wouldn't be renaming username. It would just be, yeah, renaming username is a whole different can of worms that I'm not ready to touch right now. Discord bot integration ability for MV online game example, replicate chat to Discord channel or have rich presence support. No, I'm not doing that anytime soon. It shows more detailed info on your current game in some scenarios that have an option for you to join. That's a nice to have, not something I'm going to touch anytime soon because it's very Discord specific and yeah, no. About player page database, like a profile page. You can make status messages, edit your bio, which could be included upon user completion. Once again, very, very application specific to your game. If you want to build a like system, you can have at it. But integrating friends in general or friending someone in general for your game, don't get me wrong, it could be incredibly useful. I just don't see... It seems incredibly specific, and I think we could use our time to get other things that are more general done, if that makes sense. So, really tightening up what we have so that it's solid, so that you can build some of these things on top of it. So something like that would make a little bit more sense. About player page database. No. Changelog, update feed on title screens, script call, plugin call, represented through variables. Yeah, changelog, update feed, yeah. Could have an option to just have a Facebook, Twitter page feed to be on the feed. Nah, I don't see a need for that. You could just open up another window and go to your Facebook or Twitter. I mean, you could integrate with their API. Once again, in order to get this, you have to get a developer key and developer password. You can also use the Node they have a JavaScript library, so you can do these kinds of things and build it in natively to RPG Maker Envy without this Envy Online system anyway. You could actually just do it with anyone with an internet connection in a browser. So that's a whole separate thing I am not going to touch. Platform-specific servers, no cross-platform connect to a server. IP based upon platform would be needed in this scenario. Platform-specific servers, no cross-platform connect to a server. I'm not sure what you're talking about. IP based upon platform. If exporting on crossplay, disallowed marketplace stores. I am not sure what you mean by that. If you want to tell me. Yeah, I am not sure what that means. Okay, next. Custom ranks other than the default 3. Player, mod, and admin for most people who want more specific ranks. Owner, donator, and or founder. Yeah, so that would be done somewhere within this account schema. So right now it is just literally this. So right now rank is just a number. So the numbers do not matter. You can do anything from 1 to, you can do anything from 0 to whatever. And right now when you create a user, it just puts it at like a 0 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So account register, yeah, it just puts their rank to 0. So you can make as many as you want. It is just a number. Put whatever number you want to make whatever you want. PS4 doesn't allow crossplay, but that's not my main worry. Yeah, PS4 doesn't allow crossplay. This will allow crossplay no problem because it doesn't matter what you connect with. So this is important. Okay, so you're talking about crossplay. Platform specific servers, no cross-platform. I mean, you could. I don't understand the benefit to that. Long story short, you can actually tell with Node when somebody connects to you, whether it be through Socket.io or Express. You can tell on the request, the handshake, the data coming in, what operating system they're running on, what device they're running on. It gives you all that information. Now you might need a third-party plugin to decipher the information, but it does actually give it to you. And I've used some third-party programs to make it a lot simpler, where it's like, give me the OS, please. So that way you're not like string, you know, you're looking in the string for a particular thing, and because, you know, you want a browser, you want Internet Explorer, and there's like, it comes in so many different ways, and you're better off just using a library to look for the difference between Internet Explorer, Edge, and whatever Titan or whatever else godforsaken thing they have out. So that way your node server knows exactly what they're on. And that also works with mobile devices and everything else. So yes, you can make it specific to device and just create rooms based off of it and everything else. Not something I'm going to actually implement, but it is something you can do. Custom ranks other here, and note, I know these are a lot of requests. They are. Yeah. None of these are implemented into the system. And honestly, a lot of these aren't going to be implemented or have already been suggested and or put on the list. So in some way, shape, or form. A lot of these are going to be a lot less than you expect, but you know, I have to make these very generic. I want to make it specifically generic. So that way, if anyone wants to hop on and put in their specific system, it's just not a big deal. They could just put in their specific system. I'm trying to make it I'm trying to make all these modules very interdependent of each other. The only thing that I want that's very basic and straightforward and solid is that login system. The login system is something that I want other developers to be able to just pick up and use, and they don't have to think about it. They just throw it out there, and if they want to change the HTML, they can change the HTML to whatever they want. But the username, the password, the login, the reset password, all that stuff kind of works. Yeah. It's a template for future MV game and not a game by itself. Yeah. So the other thing is, you know, it would be nice to, yeah. So that's the goal of the whole project in general, is to give a nice solid base. So that way developers aren't sitting here making a new online system every couple years, because not a couple years, but every few months there's always somebody trying to come out with a new online system, and they're building, you know, the SQL database from scratch and this and that and the other, and it's like it takes so long to do that. And that was the whole reason why I started this shindig. Alrighty, Rainbow, anything else that you want to talk about before I run away? Because I am tired and upset that we didn't finish. I am upset, but some cool ideas in here. Definitely, you know, feel free, people, to add to this kind of stuff. You know, as much as I think I know what I'm doing, as much as I think I know what we can do, you know, the next big idea I might not have. So just keep that in mind. You know, I've thought about Google and Facebook for a while, but I kind of forgot about it until somebody brought it up. So these are just important things to kind of, you know, I might not accept it, I might not do it, but still suggest it by all means. Alrighty, with that, everybody, later.